From downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I thank you for watching WGXA News live at 5:30 on YouTube. Heavy rains and high winds swept across Middle Georgia late last night.
Those storms caused a lot of damage across Taylor County, and our Brianna Cook is live now in studio with more on that damage. Brianna?
Greg and Amanda, Taylor County residents say they were shocked to see the storm damage.
All of the damage that we've seen, it was unexpected.
The damaging storm has left several areas around Reynolds in shambles. Angela Trigus says the storm wreaked havoc around her neighborhood.
Just walk around in the neighborhood, you see a lot of debris in the area. So trees, wind, debris, vehicles actually, because when I was driving, my car swayed some. So it was rough last night.
The storm caused downed trees and power lines across the county. Curtis Troutman, Taylor County resident, says although it was a damaging storm, he was unaware it was happening.
I had a call from one of my rentals and said that it was bad weather, so I went up there to check on it, and I seen that one of the trees was down and it hit back of a car. I didn't know there was a storm until I come outside.
Shirley Dunn, a local store owner, says the winds were so strong it destroyed her store.
Really, very shocked. Just to say the roof is off, you can't imagine how it looks till you actually see it. And the front of it being caved in, that it looks even worse.
The city is working hard in the following days to clean up what is left from the storm. Reporting live in studio, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
Thank you, Brianna.
Well, it was another hot day across Middle Georgia, and I'm not really complaining because I kind of like the heat.
It makes for such good pool days. And if we complain, he makes fun of us because we wanted it so
true.
bad.
But rumor has it he actually has a change in the forecast coming up.
Is that true, Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett?
Just a little bit, just a little bit. Not quite as hot. I know, Amanda, being a South Florida girl, you love the heat. We got to dial it back a little bit. But again, some thunderstorms ongoing across Middle Georgia this evening. We got one storm in North Macon right now, really between downtown and Bass Road. Heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning with that storm. That's going to be sliding over towards, say, Jones County. Also down into essentially portions of Crawford County, a storm going to be making its way off towards the east that could impact northern Houston County, and then off towards the south and east, more storms getting close to Lawrence County. But that's what we're going to be dealing with. And some of these, again, gusty winds and frequent lightning. Looking at our Mercer University camera from our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast network, looking off towards the north, you can see that rain falling down, temperature 86 degrees. Where it's not raining, it is blazing hot out there. Heat index values well over 100, and we still have that heat advisory in effect for our eastern counties. Good news is temperatures come down some this week. That means no more heat advisories for now. I'll have all the details coming up.
Ryan, and now is a great time to download that WGXA weather app. Ryan is back shortly with your full forecast. Bibb deputies are searching for a suspect who shot a man and left him dead in the street over the weekend. Deputies were called to Daffodil Street just after 6:30 on Saturday. That's where they found Cedric Davis lying in the road, unresponsive. He was later pronounced dead on the scene. Coroner Leon Jones says Davis died 2 weeks before what would have been his 46th birthday.
And the cousin of a missing East Dublin man is now under arrest for his murder. The GBI announced late Friday they found what they believe to be the remains of Doug Wilkinson behind a home on Ralph Keene Road. They add tests are being performed to positively identify the body. The GBI confirms his cousin Edwin Wilkinson and Leslie Young both live at the home where the remains were found. Wilkinson is now facing several charges, including murder and hiding a death, while Young faces several accessory to a crime charges.
Warner Robins police are also looking for the person who shot a man 4 times after breaking in his door. Officers were called to the Lake Vista Apartments around 8:30 Friday night for a violent home invasion. They say the gunman kicked in the man's apartment, shot him in his chest, stomach, and arm. The victim was rushed to the hospital. So far, we have no updates on his condition.
And police in Warner Robins are also looking into another violent incident from the holiday weekend. Officers say they were called to Houston Medical Center around 11 Saturday morning after a man showed up for a treatment on a gunshot wound. Police say he was shot during a domestic dispute on Bass Road. Police are withholding the names of those involved.
The Peach County Sheriff's Office tonight is asking for your help. They are on the hunt for these two people that you see here. Investigators say the duo are wanted for credit card fraud after they allegedly stole a card from a vehicle at a local hospital. They're driving what appears to be an older model Tahoe. If you have any information on these two, please contact the Peach County Sheriff's Office.
And two teens are behind bars in Perry after a drug deal turned into an armed robbery. Perry police say they were called to a hospital for a gunshot victim who told them he was robbed during a marijuana deal near Newport Avenue and Glenfinnan Way. Police were able to identify the two suspects in the case as 19-year-old Azalian Chisholm and a 16-year-old. They were arrested after a search warrant uncovered a stolen firearm and drugs. They are facing armed robbery, aggravated assault, firearm possession, and marijuana distribution charges.
Tonight, Lawrence County deputies are asking for your help to locate a missing woman. Investigators say 24-year-old Mary Cooper was last seen around 1 in the morning on Friday. She was wearing a dark tank top, black shorts, and pink high-top shoes. If you know where she is or if you spot her, call the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office or dial 911.
An estimated 900 people gathered in downtown Macon Sunday to show their support to a temple targeted by a hateful protest. A service of love and unity brought the community together with local and state leaders to stand against hate and discrimination. It comes after a neo-Nazi group from Florida targeted Temple Beth Israel in downtown Macon on June 23rd. The group shouted profane anti-Semitic slurs and used a pride flag to hang a blow-up doll from a stop sign. Senator John Ossoff praised the Macon community for denouncing the hatred.
Rabbi Bahar and the whole Temple Beth Israel family. Clearly, the people of Macon-Bibb County and Middle Georgia are with you. The people of the state of Georgia are with you. The American people are with you. The whole world rallies behind you after what happened last week.
Congressman Sanford Bishop also attended the service. Temple Beth Israel has been part of Macon for 164 years.
Families of transgender youth in Georgia are fighting back against a new law that will impact their health care options. The legislation bans sex reassignment surgeries and hormone replacement therapies for minors. The families of 4 transgender children have filed a lawsuit in federal court to stop the ban from being implemented. They say it strips them of their right to make critical decisions about their children's health care. The ACLU of Georgia is among a handful of organizations representing the parents. The group's legal director says the lawsuit is about securing the rights of transgender youth to access the medical treatment they need. Federal judges in Kentucky and Tennessee blocked portions of bans on gender-affirming care for transgender youth. The Georgia law, though, took effect on Saturday.
The Supreme Court ended a blockbuster term with several dramatic decisions that are likely to reverberate through much of the country, especially in higher education.
From affirmative action to student loan debt relief, the new rulings are raising questions about the real-world implications. Mike Valerio explains what these critical decisions could mean for you.
As the proverbial dust settles around the United States Supreme Court following a contentious term, the immediate consequences for everyday Americans are becoming more clear.
The Roberts Court these days is more eager to overturn older precedents than any court we've had at least probably in the last century.
In striking down affirmative action programs at Harvard and the University of North Carolina, the court effectively determined colleges and universities can no longer expressly consider race in the admissions process.
It prevents our higher education institutions from using a tool that helps promote diversity on campus.
And while the court suggests the impact of an applicant's race in their life can still be taken into consideration, and proponents of ending affirmative action say it makes the process more fair, many fear diversity in higher education will suffer in the long term.
I'm very concerned about the morale that is going to have on our minority youth.
For those who are already in or have gone to college, the court also struck down President Biden's student loan debt cancellation program, a win for Republican-led states and conservatives who claimed it was illegal.
We're talking about 40 million Americans that are going to be crushed by debt in just a few months.
As the administration works to find a new approach to debt relief, the 3-year pause on loan repayment started during the pandemic is soon expiring. Borrowers will have to resume paying their federal student loans in October, with interest set to begin accumulating again in September. The White House says, however, it will offer a 12-month on-ramp period for borrowers who are re-entering payment. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The majority of Americans approved the Supreme Court's recent decision to restrict the use of race as a factor in college admissions. A new ABC News Ipsos poll finds 52% of Americans approve of the ruling on affirmative action, while 32% disapprove, and 16% are not sure. 3/4 of Republicans support the ruling, along with 58% of independents. Roughly a quarter of Democrats agree with the decision.
Hundreds of wildfires are still raging across Canada, and forecasters fear the thick smoke could impact the U.S. throughout the summer. Tonight, we get more from Alexis McAdams.
While the West Coast bakes under a massive heat wave, other parts of the U.S. now bracing for more Canadian wildfire smoke. That country seeing its worst fire season on record. More than 560 active fires still burning, nearly half classified as out of control. Firefighters from across the U.S. flying in to battle those flames, but officials say drier than usual conditions could affect air quality throughout the entire summer.
We seem to see extremely or above average warm temperatures here this spring, with the amount of fire in the landscape from heavy spring fire load into now, that it's probably going to be one of the longer, busier fire seasons that we've seen, certainly in this area in a long time.
Last Thursday, 5 major U.S. cities ranked in the top 10 for most polluted air in the world, according to IQAir.com. But strong storms were a blessing, washing out that smoke from the skies in parts of the Midwest and Northeast over the weekend. New York City, Detroit, and Minneapolis all moving out of the unhealthy category. While these fires aren't having a major impact on folks out west, an excessive heat wave is, and it's threatening air quality, especially in parts of Southern California. Officials warning that fireworks celebrations on July 4th could worsen air quality in areas with lingering wildfire smoke.
These fireworks sometimes can be erratic, and they can ignite brush and trees and other things that are nearby that are flammable.
Back in the Northeast, health experts recommend wearing an N95 mask outside when the thick smoke does return. In New York, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
With the heat wave continuing all throughout the U.S., people aren't the only ones suffering. In this excruciating heat, squirrels are suffering as well. Squirrels in Texas are laying down on their bellies to try to keep cool. This technique is called splooting and is often done in the extreme heat. Texas has been experiencing triple-digit temperatures most of June. They can expect cooler temperatures ahead, but it may not be much better.
Any way you can beat the heat, you gotta find it. But again, we are seeing some heat-busting thunderstorms across much of middle Georgia, especially around Macon right now. It's raining in downtown Macon. We had the storm move through North Macon. It's beginning to fall apart as far as the intensity. Strongest storm right now is down into Crawford County. It's gonna be sliding towards Byron quickly and then over towards the airport, maybe clipping Warner Robins, and then down towards the south, just to the north and east of Eastman, getting another storm pushing over into southern Lawrence County, and that's what we're going to be dealing with the next few hours and also the next few days. More thunderstorms each and every day. Some of those will be strong. Big heat means big storms. Hot temperatures, high humidity. Good news is the heat level coming down some. We're not going to be dealing with upper 90s like we dealt with over the weekend, and those heat index values approaching 110. They'll be closer to maybe 101, 102. And all is quiet in the tropics. Nothing showing up across the entire Atlantic Ocean, and that's certainly some great news. 4th of July forecast for tomorrow. Hot, 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 but it starts off dry. In the afternoon, that's when we should see those thunderstorms develop. Again, completely random. If you hear thunder, make sure you head indoors, because if you can hear thunder, you can be struck by lightning. I know a lot of people could actually be out on the lake near water tomorrow. Do keep that in mind. And then wait about 30 minutes and the storm will pass, and then you can get back out on the water. But heat index, it's going to be an issue for some. Extreme caution is needed this week. Still going to be around 100, but below 105, which is the advisory criteria. So the heat advisory we have in effect right now will expire tonight at 8 p.m. Again, we have a front off towards our north. It's slowly sinking south. It's going to be the focal point. It provides just enough upper level energy and uplift to allow for more showers and storms to develop. And that's what we're going to be dealing with each and every day across middle Georgia. Got that level 1 threat today. Tomorrow, the level 1 threat continues, even into Wednesday, a level 1 threat as we get those afternoon storms that can certainly pack a punch with those gusty winds and maybe some larger hail. But again, this time of year, it's a wind threat along with a lot of lightning. Rain chances scattered to widespread, actually above average rain chances highlight our forecast this week. Many locations will see rain each day. Many locations will stay dry. Next couple of hours, showers and storms will continue. They'll gradually wind down as we head through the overnight hours. And then tomorrow we'll do it all again. Daytime heating gets those showers and storms developing. Highs tomorrow, lower to mid-90s, much better than the upper 90s we dealt with over the weekend. And your 10-day forecast does feature those mid-90s, a few lower 90s by the end of the week with those afternoon storms possible each day. And your Harrison's Body Shop Fish and Game forecast has multiple peaks in the excellent category. One at 340, another one at 920.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Well, flight delays and cancellations are still plaguing airports across the U.S. just one day before the 4th of July.
Folks are still waiting hours, even days, for new flights, and CB Cotton has more on this.
Thousands of travelers once again facing flight disruptions this 4th of July holiday.
Coming in here, it was pretty packed in the terminal. It took us a while to get through. It was insane.
According to FlightAware, more than 1,500 U.S. flights were delayed or canceled on Monday. United Airlines' percent of its schedule delayed by early afternoon. The problems leading to long security lines at airports.
We anticipated some long lines, but it's been moving, and the airport security has been doing an amazing job of getting so many people through.
Storms stretching from New England down to the southwest threaten to cause more issues. Some carriers are still playing catch up after last week's severe weather caused thousands of flight delays. Multiple airlines also blame the Federal Aviation Administration for the turbulence as the agency sees a shortage of air traffic controllers. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the FAA plans to hire additional staff in the coming months.
Whether we're talking about day-to-day ops and tactics, or whether we're talking about the bigger picture of staffing air traffic control for the future, we're moving very aggressively on that.
Also threatening to upend summer travel plans, a backup of U.S. passport applications. An online processing pause and staffing shortages have left the passport agency with a record 500,000 applications per week at times. The State Department says the processing time for a regular passport can take up to 13 weeks. In Newark, New Jersey, CB Cotton, Fox News.
And Americans are on the move to celebrate the 4th of July this year. From Thursday through Sunday, TSA says its officers screened nearly 10.7 million individuals, setting travel records at airports across the country. That's 2.7 million people per day. AAA predicts more than 43 million Americans will hit the road from the weekend through the holiday, and they'll be slightly relieved, though, when it comes to the gas pump.
And gas prices are falling also here in Macon, dropping almost 12 cents since last week.
The average price for a gallon of gas sits at around $3.07. Those current average cost is 15 cents less than this time last month and more than $1 less than last year.
The head of petroleum analysts at Gas Buddy says we can expect demand to ramp up as we hit the peak of summer, and says we might even see gas under $3 a gallon sometime in the fall. Well, a $1 million win in Vegas without ever leaving the airport. I wish that had been my luck when I went to Vegas. Harry Reid International Airport says one lucky player won $1.3 million on a Wheel of Fortune slot machine last month. The machine is in Terminal 1 of the airport. No word on who the lucky winner is or where they're from.
I know I played the slots there once at the airport and I didn't do so well. But if the lottery is more your type of gambling, a winning Powerball ticket is now worth an estimated $522 million. Here we go again. It marks the second time this year the lottery's jackpot has climbed over $500 million. No one has won since April the 19th. The next drawing, by the way, is Monday night. A Powerball ticket costs $2 each. Your ticket's odds of winning, here's the bummer, are less than 1 in 292 billion.
Do you guys remember last year when no one would win the Powerball ticket and it just kept going higher and higher and higher and higher? I didn't win.
I know.
I'm still here.
I know.
We kind of figured you probably didn't win.
No, actually, hear me out. Hear me out. I would continue to work if I had won the lottery. Because what am I going to do at home, honestly? I would be so bored. I'm such a busybody. I'm a very hyper person. I need to work. What would you guys do?
I've always said that I would too, but I would do it more on my terms. Like I would be, I might show up on Tuesday and Thursday and then dip out the rest of the week.
So if I only see you half the week and the rest of the week I'm angry
A
at
lot
myself.
of Greg Lloyd has the night off.
Again.
Oh
What
my
about you,
goodness.
I don't know. I would still do weather, but probably like Greg. Maybe I'll work Wednesday. It's gonna be a.
Because we wear pink on Wednesdays.
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
I gotta remember that.
We always have a new outfit every day, I guess.
All right.
That's all the time we have for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Stay cool, Middle Georgia.
That was a good question.